Hello friends, this is Sailesh Bhatia from eSkill Point, and today we are going to talk about how to make your own whiteboard at home. Yes, we are going to talk about a homemade whiteboard which teachers and trainers and tutors are using while they are teaching and while they are on their Zoom meetings. What happens is that today with the online education, a lot of things have changed. Traditionally, a teacher would be in front of his whiteboard or blackboard or green board, but everything has changed to digital medium. Now, let me tell you, friends, we are just 4 to 6 months into online teaching. That means just recently, because of the pandemic, we have started to use the Zoom and Google Meet and Microsoft Teams and other software applications. But at the same time, our teachers who have been teaching for the last 30 years, 35 years, are not familiar with computers as efficiently as a young student would be able to. It is not as easy as WhatsApp. What happens is there is a lot of confusion, there is a lot of tension that a teacher can face because with 30 years of offline teaching, they are used to papers, they are used to reports, they are used to diagrams, they are used to notebooks, textbooks in front of the class, looking at the student, at the same time managing. Now, they are able to manage such a situation very well, but we don't have that situation right now. What we have is a link. What we have is a laptop. What we have is a smartphone, a tab, and what we have is some books, and what we have is some videos. Now, getting this all together can be quite a task. You bet. I have seen teachers struggling and they really want to get out of the situation. Let me tell you, I personally have had two teachers in my house who really didn't want to do any online training. Do you know why? Because it was too intimidating, very, very scary. Oh my God, how am I going to mix and match and put these things together? Look at this teacher. She has to juggle between her files and the pencil and the smartphone and the laptop. You have to send the links on the WhatsApp, you have to get onto the Zoom, you have to take notes, and then you have to pull the YouTube, and everything seems to be online. What happened to the offline education? The teacher is urging to type in or to write a few notes. How can she do that? Well, I'll tell you how. I have seen a lot of teachers, they use their cell phone, they kind of hold it with one hand, and then with the other hand they write down on the notebook. Now that becomes a little too tiring because when you're writing in the notebook, the font and the typeface becomes very small, and it's not easy also for the students, because what people are used to, remember this, people are used to a whiteboard, people are used to a classical blackboard that you see in school. Because of the size, the lettering which is written by the teacher is also large. Now, mind you, here the things are not very different. The camera is able to capture whatever it can pick up what the teacher is writing, and the same is projected onto the screen. Now, imagine if you are writing on a notepad, it becomes even smaller. So, a whiteboard, okay, gives you a little better way for a teacher to express her thoughts. She is able to write freely. What happens is today's education system, has demanded that the teacher be very skilled with her competencies, be very good with her subjects like she was. But at the same time, she's expected to know each and every software. She's expected to know each and every application that exists. So it becomes quite a tough task. Now, today's session that we are talking about is making a whiteboard. That means I'm going to use a simple technique where a teacher doesn't have to hold a book, okay, or notebook in front of the camera. She can be holding a phone or putting a phone on a stand, and she can use a very simple basic technique. Okay, uh, very simple technique of using a whiteboard which she can make at home. So let's get on to it. So we understand that there are problems. Let's see if a small solution can help. So this is what it is. The classic way of learning, where you had the sketch pens, where you had the video cassettes, the glue stick, the calculator, everything on the table. It's so easy to touch and feel, right? But then I know you have a desire to go classical, but we don't have the opportunity right now. What I'm going to suggest is that why don't we use the existing tools that we have at home? Take for example, this is a typical scenario in somebody's house. You have a tab and then there are some books and then there is a table. Now it's so difficult for a teacher to explain either, to share the book on across the screen or scan the book, put it as a PDF file. Now those are some of the methods people are using. But many a times you can't always be scanning. You have to demonstrate, isn't it? What happens when you want to do a theorem? What happens when you want to draw? You can't be sending a ready-made drawing. You have to draw. You have to demonstrate. You have to start from scratch. So there is a need for a drawing table. There is a need for a whiteboard, and we are not going to go out to get one, but we will create one at home. Let's see. We all have a side table. We all usually have a side table in our house. The one that is shown here is a pretty old one. You can see the plywood is almost wearing out because of the water spillage. But at the same time, we will not we will not be making this redundant. We would use it. A side table with a glass top. That's what we want. What we need to do is clean both the sides with a soft clean cloth using any kind of glass cleaner. Make sure that the glass is sparkling and good. So once you have done that, we need to also make sure that the glass table is of a decent size, just like you see on the screen, which can capture text if it was written on it. Now let me tell you, when you have a glass table, if you start to write directly on the glass table using a sketch pen, you would not be able to show the markers or the text that is written, because the background of the table, which is dark brown, in this case you can see for yourself, makes it very difficult for the student to read what is written. I have zoomed in so much for you to see the difference. Now as against the yellow background, which can definitely throw some text to us. Now the yellow background is creating a lovely contrast for the marker pen to show what is written. So what we need to do is, we can't be using a yellow cloth and keeping it below the table, but what we can do is something better. Here, look at this. This is a shabby solution. You know what? Because keeping a cloth or a towel below the table is actually not what we want. We want a good solution. So let us see how we can make a good solution. And no shortcuts here. And let's see how we can make a beautiful whiteboard using the most simplest of the material available with us. All right, here it goes. We take a chart paper. We take a scale and a cutter. Now these are tools that are available with every trainer, every teacher, and it's available in most of the households. Right, what do we need to do? We need to take a good chart paper, and we need to also use a double-sided tape. Why would we need this? Remember, the trick is we would be cutting this chart paper and we would need to stick it. So the double-sided tape is to stick the chart paper. How do we start it? Well, get the tools in one place. All that you need is a scale, a double-sided tape, a blade, and of course a pencil or a pen to measure the inner dimensions of the table. Measure the glass table, the inside of the glass, using a scale. Make sure you make a good template without any creases. Make sure that paper, the chart paper used is clean. It doesn't have any wrinkles or it doesn't have any creases, because you are going to make a solution that is going to last you for a long time. Let's make the professional cut here. Stick sufficient small stickers along the boundary of the paper or the perimeter of the chart paper that has been cut. Do you know why? The chart paper is slightly heavy, and for the glass to be, to hold the weight of the chart paper, we don't want the chart paper to fall down. So one illustration is that starting from the corners, you mark the areas where you need to put the sticker, you cut the stickers into small squares, and you stick it along, and what happens is this is what you get. A very beautiful table, a whiteboard. A table that was actually redundant has now got a white sheet of paper which is stuck below. Here I've used just 6 pieces. It was sufficient. Easy peasy. That does it. And I'll tell you how you can do it. Once you start writing on it, you would be amazed how beautiful it looks. I'm going to show it to you in the next video clip that is following. So, how was it? Once you have your tools ready, I am sure every teacher who has her tools ready, and especially her whiteboard so that she can scribble on it, can make it very easy for the students and make her learning and teaching very easy. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe to our channel, make sure to share this video, and make sure to create a whiteboard in your house. At eSkill Point, we try to make things easy for you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.